everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer. In this video, I'll be taking a look at the Reindeer Tools 20 volt Max Cordless Chainsaw. The model number is RMN180. I've reviewed similar products on my channel. However, this is the first time I'll be showing you a product from this company, and this handheld chainsaw is a little bit larger than the ones I've demonstrated in the past, although this does come in a 6-inch bar model. The one I have before me is 8 inches. So first I'm going to take it out of the box. I'll show you all of the components, give you a rundown of the parts, and then I'll demonstrate it in action. Here's a close-up look at the outer packaging sleeve. It shows both the 6 and 8 inch size as well as the certifications. It comes in its own carrying case, which I would describe as a medium weight plastic. The clips are a bit on the light side. I don't know that I'd pile a whole lot of weight on top of it if I was transporting it in a work van, but it should be adequate for most homeowners who will probably store it on a shelf. Inside, you'll find the instruction manual. The first few pages go over safety guidelines, so please familiarize yourself with those. There's a table with product specifications as well. Most notably, this saw has a copper brushless motor with a no-load RPM of 5,800. You'll also get a sturdy pair of gloves with a rubberized grip on the palms. Speaking of PPE, you'll need your own eyewear and possibly a hard hat if you're planning on trimming limbs overhead. I started off with earplugs but found that I really didn't need them, but use your best judgment. I was pleasantly surprised to see that this kit contains two 20-volt, 3-amp-hour lithium batteries, which I've been told have passed multiple safety tests. There's a fuel gauge here on the back with 4 bars. You'll want to put each battery on the enclosed charger before first use, and it has its own indicator that will turn green when they're ready. This could take anywhere from 1 to 2 hours and comes with built-in overcharge and overcurrent protection. The estimated working time is 40 to 60 minutes. Here's the saw along with a spare chain and the charger I just mentioned. The saw comes with another chain already installed, and I can tell looking at it that it's a little bit too loose. The chain tensioning knob is this black dial on the top of the red knob, which is the housing disassembly. You'll obviously want to wear gloves anytime you work with the chain and make sure the battery is removed. To adjust the tension, lift the baffle guard and loosen the red dial. Make sure the chain is lined up inside the channel on the bar. Next, take out the slack, but be careful to not over-tighten it either. You should only be able to pull around 1/8 of an inch of the chain from the center of the bar, and it should snap back. When you're happy with the tension, turn the black outer dial. You'll have to check the tension periodically during use, especially when the product is new. The oil tank is located here on the top. Because it's a little narrow, I used a smaller vial to fill it. Now, my bar and chain oil is soy-based, so it's clear, but you can use any brand or type that you'd like. Underneath, you'll find a clear refueling pump that you'll need to press periodically during use to lubricate the chain. This button is the safety switch, and you'll need to press it at the same time as the trigger in order to activate the motor. The underside of the saw has little ridges to help it grip material when cutting. The bare tool is super lightweight and only weighs 2.8 pounds. To insert the battery onto the tool, you'll need to press the red tab and slide it onto the base. On a side note, this was a little bit hard for me to do at first because I have small hands, but it seemed to loosen up after taking the battery on and off a couple times. With the battery, it weighs 4.6 pounds and measures approximately 21 inches long from the bottom of the battery to the tip of the bar, about 5.5 inches high, and approximately 7 inches wide. I'm going to begin by testing it on smaller limbs that I previously cut but want to chop into manageable pieces for the burn pile. This will handle material up to 8 inches in diameter, so it's no surprise it quickly slices through these smaller branches with ease. I felt comfortable using it one-handed. It's well balanced and not heavy for me at all. You can use 2 hands if needed. You'll obviously want to be careful to keep them away from the moving blade. When you're working, I'd suggest laying it on the ground with the guard facing down so your blade doesn't come in contact with it. You might also set it upright on the battery if possible. I could see this being very useful for homeowners like myself, as I often need to prune my trees so I can mow under them or clean up fallen limbs after storms. That's the case with this branch from my apple tree that I'm cutting up here. It's a bit thicker than the previous limbs I just sliced up, and it performed well with no issues of binding or getting bogged down. I also have an area between my house and the neighbors that I need to clear. It's filled with small trees and scrub brushes. As you can see, I had no problem quickly trimming through the thick bases of each. While most people will probably use the saw on tree limbs like I've demonstrated so far, you can also use it for DIY purposes instead of a circular or reciprocating saw. I have floorboards in my gazebo that I need to tear out, and this tool gives me another option to quickly make cuts through the material. I decided to kind of push the limits a little, and I'm not saying I'd suggest you doing this in real life, but I wondered if it would cut through something like this 12-inch log in a dire case of emergency. I cut it halfway on one side, then rotated it and cut it again, then let it snap apart by dropping it, and the answer is yes, it did cut through something beyond its intended capacity. I can see this being an awesome tool for people that like to camp because it's portable, powerful, and affordable at around $120. To change the blade, loosen the black dial and red knob until the housing cover comes off. Lift the bar from the pin and place the new chain in the groove beginning at the tip. If there's debris buildup, this is a good time to blow or wipe it away. There's a little diagram on the bar and in the manual to show which way the teeth should face. Slip the bar and chain back on the pin and make sure the links line up with the sprocket. Replace the housing cover and red and black components and tighten the chain. You're all set. When you're finished working and the debris has been removed, you can return it to its case, and it goes in this order. I did read over the online reviews. Most people gave it 5 stars, and even the ones that gave it 4 had nothing negative to say. So I honestly don't know why they didn't just give it 5 stars. The one thing I might like to see included is a dedicated scabbard, but that's about the only critique I can come up with. That and possibly sturdier clamps on the case, but overall it's definitely something I would have no reservations recommending to all of my followers. So I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions on things maybe I didn't cover, please leave them for me in the comments. Also, if you're not a current subscriber, I hope you'll hit that follow button. You can also find me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook as well. As always, I thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care.